Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. I decided to do another Inside My Head episode, but I really would like to talk about other things that are currently more important, so I decided to combine a bit of a channel update with an Inside My Head. By the way, an Inside My Head against my highest ever rated opponent in the Inside My Head episode. So the main reason why I'm doing this channel update now is because I just had my first lesson with the respective top donor of the month, who turned out to be Linarts, his nickname is, who donated $30 in January to the channel, which was the highest donation received in that month, and so consequently he got his free lesson with me that we just did today. However, because of I'm a genius, I stuffed up the recording of that. This is a move I tell you never to do because it releases tension. I explain to you in 1 second why I chose to do that in that moment. So I stuffed up the recording. Half of the video was not watchable, and I feel very guilty about that because I really wanted to make Robbie happy. Sorry, Linarts, his name is Robbie, happy about that lesson and the fact that he could rewatch it. And whilst I was humbly apologizing for that, he actually gave me a very good idea that I decided to take on board pretty much immediately because I thought it was such a clever concept, and that concept is nothing else but to create a team, which I already have done. I can't really show you here, I don't know how to even go there, but so I created a team on lichess.com which is called the Chess Coach Andras Student in brackets and Fan brackets close club. Now the idea, of course, surprise surprise, is to gather all my students together in that club, encourage them to play against one another, and occasionally it is an opportunity for you to pair up with each other, even triple up with each other, or quadruple up, or whatever floats your boat. Create a group where we could have a group session together. The idea of a group session would be, of course, that it would be a little bit more cost efficient for the students, and if you manage to find a group or two that are pretty much in the same rating level or playing strength or have got a common interest, regardless of their respective relative strength, but let's say they are both crazy interested in the Rui Lopez Chigorin variation, then I could run a lesson and both of them could equally well benefit from it. So I really did like that idea, and so as I said, I acted on it already, and the group is already created. So I am inviting all my currently existing students, as well as those who have contacted me lately, and by lately I mean in the last 2 to 3 months since I put the YouTube channel back, to coach them. And whether I did or not, it's another matter, but yeah, so if you guys requested coaching, often I couldn't do it simply because yeah, as I explained it to in many emails already, I'm flat out. But anyway, so if you would be willing to receive coaching from me, or if you are keen on such ideas, then I really highly encourage you to request a membership in that team. I'm going to grant it to you, and then you guys can gather together in that group, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be something really cool. Currently the group is closed, which means that you have to actually request membership from me, and I have to grant it to you. And I would appreciate if you request a membership that you explain to me what sort of communication we have had in the past 3 months, or prior to that if you used to be my former students or whatever. So that is basically one of the most important things that's happening now. I really don't know how to do this, as in how to bring up that team thingy. Actually, no, it's not even here. Where is it? Maybe it's community. Teams, there you go. Okay, so community. Shush you. And then I will try to open it up in a new link. I don't think it's gonna work. Yes, it does. So this is my group, and I already have 3 members, which is very funny because I only approved 2. How do I see my members? Let's check. Oh, of course, I'm being an idiot again. Today, guys, it's 41 degrees in Canberra, and it was 40 degrees yesterday, so slightly and but clearly visibly my brain is just evaporating into thin air. I have got 3 members because I'm a member of my own group too. Right, so this is the big news. Please come and join me, and hopefully we can build a very vibrant and active chess community here to the benefit of you guys and me as well. And once again, I would like to mention to you guys that the donation button on my YouTube channel is functioning, and there is a free lesson to be earned by being a highest donor of each month. So keep that in mind. And now back to the game. What the heck? Oh my god, I'm already winning and I haven't even said a word. So, Queen's Gambit declined. Bishop g5 is the main variation, but I like the sneaky bishop f4 variation for a number of reasons. And I just went for the stock standard setup, and in this position I decided to take. And you may have realized that I always tell my students not to release tension unless it's justified. Now the justification of this capture is that if I were to castle here, which was my plan, then he could have taken me here, pawn takes back, so bishop takes back, b5, bishop back, a6, and then followed by c5. And contrary to the game, we would have played with a very fluid pawn structure, very fluid from black's point of view that is, and he could have gained very, very cool counterplay. Whereas after the actual take on d5, the structure has become very rigid. He doesn't really have the opportunities now to do what he wanted to do. And after castles, it's a lot more complicated to build up this attack, and it takes a lot longer. As you can see, I just played g4, and now h6 pays very, very badly off. Very well for me. So the idea was that after knight g4, rook g1, if the knight drops back, I get to pick up the pawn. And in any other case, g5, and my attack has already broken through, and he hasn't done a thing yet. So he played c5, which was logical. g5 takes, knight takes, c4, and now I went in for the check. The idea is to force the king to h8, the worst square, so now anytime I appear on h7, it's gonna be mate, even if the rook is gone. And now there are lots of tactical motives that are based on me wanting to eliminate these 2 knights. And he just stepped into action, and that's the reason why the bishop came back to f5 right away, so that I can keep an eye on that knight. Because if I could eliminate both of them, then it would be made down here. And so he played b5, and now he just made this elimination possible by blocking off the 5th rank, because now bishop takes, and then knight took on d5, and the knight can't take because it's mate. He played bishop b4. I have no idea why, because now if I take here, he won't be able to retake because of the mate, which means that he's losing at least another piece, but probably more. Do I want to play bishop e5 and be cute, or not really? I'm also pondering about the consequences of knight takes, rook takes, queen takes g6, and then queen h6 mate next. Yeah, I quite like that. I like aggro chess. I'm pretty sure objectively this is best. But I would like to show you guys that when it comes to me playing chess, I love to be very aggro, and I always want to go for the neck, and I want my students to be the same. We go for the neck. So now I'm threatening here, but more importantly I'm threatening check and mate. So that's the main threat he needs to attend to, and that's the reason why he's going to lose his rook no matter what he does. Because, yeah, there is no other way to stop this checkmate threat. So essentially it is G to the G, GG. So I think I told you everything now, really, that I wanted to say. So, dude, you can resign. I can upload the video. Happy days. Actually, I should play a rematch against this bloke. I don't know if I will. It's this 41 degrees without air conditioning is... a murderous thing. Don't try it, guys, at home. It's very bad. What do we know about this AMIN dude? An Iranian fella. Yeah, I expected that. So rook takes, queen takes. And now, depending on what is out, bishop e5 or rather rook g1 is going to lead to an immediate checkmate. Actually, rook g1 is better. So let's say king. Okay, now it's even check. Had he come here, even then rook g1 threatening mate here and mate here would have been impossible to stop. G to the G, dude. Do you want a rematch? All right, let's give him a chance. Challenge accepted. All right. Do you feel like Nimzo or King's Indian, folks? Or Benoni? I feel like Nimzo. I haven't played Nimzo for a while on the channel, I believe. So let's go Nimzo ways. Nimzo is an opening that I very highly recommend to any players at any level, at any playing strength. It's a very, very good opening with lots of different pawn structures. There is a lot of stuff to be learned here. Now, once again, what I'm doing here is that technically I'm releasing tension, but the benefit of it is that I'm playing against an isolated pawn. This is something that I quite like doing in this variation. Funnily enough, mostly because I remember how badly I struggled against the system all the time I had it as white. And very often it actually transposes into a hanging pawn structure. By me taking there and then occupying the knight, the d5 square, and then playing against these two pawns. I consider it to be a little bit early now, but his setup is not really good against what I'm doing at the moment, so I'm just going to build up my position and go from there. Yeah, see, if you look at bishop d2, these two bishops are very clumsy here, so yeah, that was the reason why I decided not to take this at all. And in fact, I'm very tempted to just come back home now, because I feel like I've done the damage I wanted to do, which is of course in its nature a positional type of damage. I still find it hard to resist to take this and then play knight d5 and queen c7, knight f4. It's a legitimate plan. Okay, I'm gonna play this. The idea is that it allows me to come across here, and also the queen on d6 is a very annoying customer, except I shouldn't suck this one in. I really want to show you guys a motif, so I will show you this. Bishop takes here is very counterintuitive because it feels like it connects the pawns and gives up the two bishop for no apparent reason. But the problem is, and the point is, that this bishop is a monster powerhouse in the position for black, and the b4 bishop was really just a bystander. So now I have got access to knight d5s at any moment, but the motif I actually wanted to show you was based on my queen being on d6, which very often threatens to take here and here. And maybe he will allow me the opportunity to play out the other one that I wanted to show you, which is actually knight g4. Right. Except it's not good now because he has got bishop e4 on it. But okay, I actually don't mind swapping that bishop off. This is a bit of a scrappy game, so I'm not particularly proud of the way how this is going, or happy with it. Can he even play knight e5? That would hurt me very hard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm too lazy to calculate this now. Yeah, I reckon he actually can. Knight e5, knight e5, knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, queen takes. Bishop takes h7 check. King takes. Queen h5 check. Very important in between move. King drops back to g8, and he takes my knight down here. But then I have got mate down there. Wow. Never stop calculating the line till it's the very end. It's very hard to find where it's the end, but now we just did. At the same time, he may be able to swing his rook across instead of taking my free knight, which looks super duper scary. Well, we will see. I think based on how much he has been thinking, I think he's panicking about me taking this and giving a check. He may be measuring up the consequences of h3, which I think is a good move, because after bishop takes queen check, king f1 and happy days. Whereas now, what's been happening is what I want to happen in this game, which is massive swaps. Because massive swaps always take us closer to an endgame, and as far as the endgame is concerned, my structure is far more healthy than his, healthier, just for the sake of using correct English. So queen h4 is what he's going to play. Whereupon I take, he takes, and I'll play rook c8, and I'm going to start to play against these two pawns, as well as potentially that one down there. A lot of play against those pawns, and he doesn't have enough kingside initiative. So strategically speaking, he's lost. Unless he manages to stir up some sort of complication based on tactics, this game is mine. This is an ultimate piece that now dominates all the white squares, and if I could extend on it by playing b5, knight b6, knight c4, that would be beautiful. Whether it's necessary or not is of course another matter, but we will see to that, because queen e4 looks very strong too, inviting them to take and allow my knight to come back in. But yeah, this is a typical position that feels really, really bad to play as white, because very visibly we don't have enough play, and very visibly we have lots of worries, weak pawns here and there, that black is just constantly attacking, and if we have to play moves like rook a1, then we know that we are in a world of hurt. I'm quite tempted to play this actually, with the intention of coming across. Yeah, let's do that. See the total domination on the white squares? They're all mine. And in contrast, whilst he has got reasonable control of the dark squares, it's not good enough to make anything happen. He can't break me on those squares, and he's already broken on the other color complex. Queen swap, blindly. Like, I'm not even looking at the possible consequences, because that is what the position dictates me to do. So now this is horrendously weak. b5 is coming, other knight is incoming. The strategy has worked out beautifully. So as far as the second part of the game is concerned, I'm more than happy that I decided to stay and play. Now I shouldn't have allowed this knight e4 thing, because these two are now accessible to the white knight, and that annoys me a fraction. Okay, so I'm going to defend the pawn, so that knight d6 doesn't hurt me. I'm going to regroup my king here, and then I'm going to kick the knight out. a3 is another very sad move, and when I say sad, I mean bad, because that gives me a new target on a dark square. So you always want to keep your pawns on the opposite color of the bishop, so that your bishop doesn't become as horrible as this one is now. Alright, let's gain some space. And yeah, so your bishop has got an extended scope, so please see what's happening with my pawns now, because it is well worth actually observing and following and even copying, if you will. See how every single pawn I have got, with the exception of this, is on white, and now it's all on white. So from here on, essentially, I'm a piece up, because this bishop can't hurt me. In fact, every single piece I own is on white, with the exception of my king. This is how you play against a certain type of bishop, that you put all your dudes on the other color, especially the pawns, and then you start hunting the pawns that remained on black. That's looking like a good move. e5 is looking like a good move. King d6 is looking like a good move. Too many goodies. This is tricky. All right. When in doubt, just improve your position. Actually, there was a third element to my position here that I didn't realize. That due to this beautiful display of white pawns, instead of coming this way and trying to aim for these squares with the knight, I actually should and could have and should have come this way, as in I will go that way. It hasn't occurred to me so far, but now I'm seeing this, especially after the knight is tucked away there, and then I'm happy. Swapping a knight off would be brilliant. I can't wait for him to play either knight b4 or knight e3, because that means that he will be stuck with his two most passive pieces, and I can always replace one knight with the other. So basically, thank you very much, come again. Now, in fact, I want him to go probably this way. Do I? Okay, no, I'm just gonna take it. We are just going to invade on the white squares. Doesn't matter which way he takes, it's a disaster. If he takes with the pawn, I think king up here followed by knight jump into e4 is immediately deadly. If he takes back here, then he has a chance to create a bit of a counterplay down here. But again, even against that, I would play, actually I would play knight e4 right away, hitting that. And after bishop e3, king d5, the rook is stuck. It can't go because of that hanging. And again, that allows me time to build up the next wave of my attack, whichever way I want to make that happen. Excuse my yawning. This is a really nice example of a good knight, bad bishop. And I'm not saying or keep on saying how great of an example it is because I want to show you how awesome I am, but more because I think it's a very instructive example about how to play practical endgames and how to assess them. That was a total waste of space. Typical amateur move, by the way, that they see a check and so they go for it. I wanted to play king d5 anyway, so the normal course of the game would have been bishop e3, king d5. Now compared to that, I have an extra move at my disposal. Thank you. Sign me up any day. So my next plan is, I was thinking about playing a5 here, making them take and then rook a4 and then take and then go back and hunt the pawn that way, which is definitely an option. The other one is I could bring the rook around here. I could also bring the rook around here and play for h4, opening up the h file. I'm very tempted to go that way as well. So I have got a number of options here. But I really do want to make sure that the one that I eventually choose is the best. I can also get cute by up and then knight takes f2 check, but after king f2 I think that's just not good enough. So a5, pawn takes rook a4, rook b1, rook a5, and I'm struggling to get the rook on back onto a3. Interesting. Okay, let's go back. Waiting is a very important skill in endgames. So I decided to go for it because I realized that in this position after rook b1 I actually get to defend my pawn at one point with knight d6 as well. That made no sense whatsoever. Oh, I was thinking I may have played the move too fast. Now two things I can consider here. One of them is rook here, the other one is rook here. If rook here, rook check, king back, then I'm going to pinch this cherry. But it seems like it's an easier way to defend for him. If I drop back here, bishop f4 is annoying. So I just want to wait for one move and see what he does. Because I also have this move as a possibility, and I actually quite like it. The idea with withdrawal of the king is that now I'm threatening legitimately to play rook a3. He had to defend it. So now I could actually penetrate right away, and I think I should. Yes, and I think that was the game decider, because now the f2 pawn drops, and with that the game is over. Yeah, actually king c6 was a very neat move. I really like it. The idea is that now this is a very strong threat, and after rook c2 I can win the pawn with b4, or first king d5 and then b4. And in any other case, like in the game, I get to penetrate on one of these squares and attack these. Please note that his rook has not been yet on an open file, and is very unlikely to ever get to an open file in this game, which is one of the main reasons why he's going to lose it, because his pieces have always been very, very utterly passive, in particular the bishop, but the rook wasn't a happy camper for the most of the game either. And I just pinched the pawn and GG. So that's that. The opening was a little bit shaky. I didn't quite like the way how I played it, because I think there were lots of opportunities there to play more forcefully. Always try to push your opponent's king into passivity. It very rarely works with checks. When you see a random check and you don't have a reason to go for it, don't. But when you can justify such check by saying, oh, okay, force the enemy king back to a far worse square, you go for it in a heartbeat. So now I'm threatening that, I'm threatening that, and I'm threatening that. This is a very good moment to resign the game. Check, of course, is useless because it just forces me to a better square. Okay, so it's... Oh, this check wins the rook. Tactics all the way, boys. Tactics. I didn't realize what an awesome threat I created by knight d3. That was the last of the side effects of the knight on d3. So, yeah. I think that was a really cool endgame. I'm very glad that I decided to record the second game too. So, this is how we roll, folks. Don't forget to love the channel. Don't forget to sign up for my friendship group if you feel you belong. And I might actually open up in the end to the public completely. But first, I would like to give privileges to my students. And yeah, so please do so. Please follow the channel. Please love me. And then the world will be a happier place. Thanks for watching me. Bye.